Guys, listen to this. This is crazy.
Vladimir Putin has dropped a bombshell, and all it took was him holding up a few documents.
Well, these documents seem to show that Ukraine agreed to a peace deal over a year ago, but never held up their end of the bargain. Now, we've been reporting this for months because of reports that when Boris Johnson went to Ukraine, he was going there to thwart peace talks. That now seems to have borne out. At the time, it was called
conspiracy. Borised out instead of borne out. It was Borised out.
It was Borised out. At the time, it was called conspiracy theory. No, he was just there to show support for Ukraine. Well, no, what he was there to do was to thwart the peace deal, which now the timeline seems to support. So let's go over it. Russian President Vladimir Putin said that he was showing us a copy of a peace agreement that was signed by Ukraine last year when peace talks were hosted in Turkey. It was called the Treaty on Permanent Neutrality and Security Guarantees of Ukraine. These were talks held in Turkey in March of 2022. What happened to them? Well, Boris Johnson happened to them. Bojo hopped on a plane a few days later, and Ukrainian media reported that he talked Zelensky out of it. U.S. officials would quickly follow suit. After this visit, we would see Nancy Pelosi clicking her heels down the streets of Kiev, Antony Blinken, Lloyd Austin, Europe's Ursula von der Leyen showed up not long after that. And then, consequently, what did Ukraine do? They reneged on their side of the bargain, according to President Putin.
The people who
Here is a translated video of President Putin showing this document to a group of African leaders, and watch the sort of consternation on their faces as they see this.
Now, are they for peace?
We did not agree with the Ukrainian side that this deal would be confidential, but we also never disclosed it or commented on it. The draft of this agreement was initialed by a representative of the head of the negotiating group from Kiev. He put his signature there. Here it is.
Wow.
It's called the Treaty on Permanent Neutrality and Guarantees for the Security of Ukraine. It contains 18 articles, and there is also an appendix. Its provisions concern the armed forces and many other things. Everything is written there, down to units of military equipment and personnel of the armed forces. Here is the document. It is initialed. But after we withdrew troops from Kiev as promised, the Kiev authorities, as their patrons usually do, threw it all into the wastebasket of history. Where are the guarantees that they will not continue to abandon such agreements?
Crazy. And did you see one of the African leaders of this St. Petersburg summit sitting with his mouth open? He was like,
yeah.
What? Wait a minute. They signed a peace agreement?
Right.
And then, of course, you'll know right afterwards, and part of the peace agreement was for Russia to remove its forces from Kiev.
Well, take a look at this next slide, because yes, this was part of the deal. They said that their side was to withdraw from Kiev, but here's NPR telling us that they were withdrawing from Kiev as Moscow focuses more on eastern Ukraine. So
now,
here,
whose
this
government's
was from,
full of communists and
propaganda? I mean, we saw all kinds of talking heads saying
and got
they're
their arms in the
retreating.
media.
Just weeks into the battle, they're retreating.
See, they're
right?
leaving.
Listen
Kiev.
how that's
the
worded.
ghost of Kiev got them. They're leaving.
Like they're
leaving.
winning. That's what we were told. Now, I want to go back to this throwing it all into the wastebasket of history
propaganda?
bit, because
Man. See how far in the darkness we are? Wake up.